What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. So much happened this weekend with Yu-Gi-Oh! And it's been a little bit since the last Market Watch. I have a ton of tabs open. Forgive me if I take a little bit of time to register what's on the screen. And 1,500 plus players at French Nationals, first place Dragon Link, a brand new set with Photon on the cover, finally not worse Blue Eyes, and Farfa. This is broken on Grave of the Super Ancient Organism, which had several buyouts going into this already. Surely people over in the EU are going crazy for this. No, actually, they're perfectly calm over on Card Market and not buying it out. Over on TCG Player, the one copy left of the Ultra, you have the common spiking up towards $15, triple down buyout on it, and the ultimate rare going to the freaking moon. If you're not familiar with the card, it's very good against certain matchups, not Flunder though because of a certain word. While this card is face up on the field, level 6 or higher special summoned monsters cannot attack or activate their effects. This is good against a ton of matchups though. You have it against Sword Soul, all the synchros, higher end, even Yazi being 7. We don't got Dangalong in the TCG. Then you also have Albaz. You have the high-end fusions that all want to activate their effects but can't because they can't even attempt to or attack. It's kind of like a mini Mystic Mine against high-level monsters all the way back from Raging Battle. So congrats to Farfa doing it big with Burning Abyss and getting his invite, and Floodgate Yep going crazy over to TCG Player versus the Chad Card Market barely pushing it up like 10-20 cents. We do have photons on the name of the new cover of an OCG core set. This is not some side set or duelist pack. This is core cover cards. Those can be pretty hit or miss, to be fair, but usually with how many cards they throw at it, something will stick. So people are very excited about this, and people are pointing out this graph early. I brought it up last night. This was already like this before the reveal of this set, and the reason's kind of hilarious. You see it goes way down. This is people going, oh no, it could be in Ghost from the past, spooky reprints. They could reprint this card, don't you see Hope Harbinger's there? It didn't end up getting reprinted, and then people went, oh yeah, let me get that back real quick, and they ended up buying it out to the highest point that it's been yet, around $40. So intuition of going back for it, I suppose, after selling it away, it's at its all-time high. 40 solid for this card right now. I would be looking at Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon personally with this deck. Card is absurd from the Ace and Rival Protagonist cards that were given out, and it's really freaking good. It's only in Legendary Duelist Season 2 as a secret rare with no other printing, and I would definitely have my eyes on that version of it. Secret rare obviously able to hold pretty well. Galaxy Expedition only has 2 printings, one being OTS Pack 9, and OTS Pack 9 was shorted. It was replaced by OTS Pack 5, as you might recall, which is why Ulti Stratos doesn't have the most copies out there either. This being on the super end, there's more of them, but still less than the usual OTS pack, and we've seen some crazy stuff with Galaxy cards when it comes to only having 2 printings, and this is one of the better ones. I would also be looking at Soul Flare Dragon. The secret rare specifically out of the Megatons is only around $1 for really good disruption. You already have like Spell and Monster Negates. This offers you the ability to end up popping cards on your opponent's field during their turn, and you also have Starliege Photon Blast, which ends up in a lot of their combos, but it was reprinted in Legendary Duelist Season 2. The original Ultra Rare out of a Legendary Duelist that's very expensive though is under $1. I'd probably go with the OG Ultra before going after another version, using that TCG Player link in the description down below, costing you nothing extra to support the channel directly for the cards you'd already be buying. My thoughts on a Hyper Galaxy, the collector rare that is under around $10. It's at 11 at this point. I think there was one at 10 last night. 2 sold at $11. Oh no. This card takes 2 cards to do its thing. You tribute a monster with 2,000 or more attack, except then target a monster on your opponent's field, so they already have to be playing, and then tribute it, and then special summon a Galaxy Eyes Photon. So your 2 takes out 1, summons another, ends up being 2 for 2 advantage, but if this card does get stuffed, it's unfortunate for it. The plus side of it is a quick play and can be very good at helping you go for game. I like the card overall. The collector rare is this cheap, but again, do remember its high cost and setup and reliance on the opponent to be doing its thing, but the quick play makes it pretty darn nice in my opinion. Mistaken Arrest. Calvin Tahan has been preaching about this card in the Facebook groups. I see you getting those tops and doing it big. This card, I feel like I did underestimate a little versus Droll, and the fact that people are citing so heavily to prepare for their going first to help it make a win. Unlike Droll, you don't need them to add a card at all. You just slam it in the draw phase until the end of your next turn after this card resolves. Neither player add cards from their deck to their hand except by drawing them. So basically, you set up, you enter your opponent's draw phase, you slam this quick play, you got to do all your searching and comboing, you shut them off without them even having gotten the bonus of getting a single card. The word Droll also could be interrupted by a wider range of cards that Mistaken Arrest could be disrupted by. Pretty freaking good card. Chaos Emperor Dragon. Why isn't this spiking, John? Dragon Link won and it was in the deck. Why isn't it going crazy to the moon? Why isn't it flying up there? I've got news for you. Every time something wins, there isn't a knee-jerk reaction towards it as often as it can disrupt the market. I feel like Dragon Link is one of those decks where everybody who wanted the core for this deck still kind of has it. Like, why would they be out there just selling it to get to the next deck? Dragon Link has a pretty dedicated following, so when it comes to this card, I don't think there's just suddenly a ton of people after this specific card. You can see a couple sold the past few days, but it's not that much more than the previous days before it. I feel like with this card, it's already so bloated in price for being a prize card reprint that is playable and decent, and when we look at the rest of the Dragon Link cards, same story. Hermetic Seal of Heavenly Spheres has been up consistently over time, but it's not a knee-jerk reaction, gotta get this back, gotta have it for the national season. The Rocket Revolt buyouts were a while ago, no respike. Absoluter chilling out. Rocket Recharger, remember these two spiked after the Rocket Tracer reprint for, that displacement value of going to other cards and those being the ones that are harder to get now. Very interesting that there aren't any knee-jerk reaction grabs, but kudos to the community for not doing so. And again, I feel like that's because Dragon Link players mostly already have their cores. It reminds me of like Legendary 6 Samurai, not my Samurai, but with keys on, it was like $50-$60 at the start, and despite winning and doing so well, it fell consistently 40 to 30, and that's because everybody who wanted it had it, so people slowly began picking it up later as the prices fell, and there wasn't a demand for those bloated prices where everyone rushed for it early. This is kind of a slower effect of that. Accesscode Talker, though, everybody seems to want to have access to one of those, is becoming an Accesscode Talker once again as it rises towards $60. I saw the shock, oh my gosh, MBT reaction to that. 1.5 per case will do that to a card. Both this and Forbidden Droplet, their reprints were complete jokes, didn't really help the card pool, and now we finally get the good Forbidden Droplet reprint over in the Legendary Duelist, as long as they're not all as scuffed as Lithiums. Go look at those pulls, they're terrible. Therion King Regulus is actually falling back out. I called this bloated. It started up, down, all around, respiking, and now is under 70, but it was lower towards 65, so a little tick up versus what was happening there. A lot of people really like the Therion engine, and it mixes with a ton of different decks. I don't blame you for wanting access to that during the national season. It seems pretty cool. Psychic and Punisher, one of my calls, doing very well for itself. Only 33 copies on the market, and it was so underestimated to begin with. And then, this is one of those I told you so's. Therion Die Coliseum. I said this could fall back to $12, and the people who bought it out at 5s would still be making over double their money. Well, there it is, that exact price fall, in a sense, happening with it. Also, Visas Starfrost, extremely low in listings, people treating him like the next Albaz, as we've mentioned, and then Scareclaw Tryhard. I heard that Kali Effect put people onto this. I have not verified it, but a ton of people in my stream said that's why it went up, like Kali Effect spotlight on this. I don't disagree. It feels like Diet Splight early in the fact that it doesn't have the same crazy advantage engine, but it can throw things up on the board and do its thing pretty easily, underestimated in the format. But but we'll have to wait and see if it can actually grab results. And Libromancer, a ton of people still looking this up, but it's still going down in price. I think it actually did some things at the Nationals this week, and I think I saw a 4th place or something crazy at one of them. Totally awesome. As we do head towards Spright, there's a couple of things to talk about with that, this being one of them, and it is consistently still creeping up in price for its higher end versions, and the gold letter rare now at $15+. You originally could have grabbed these for $2 during that pre-sale and initial listing era, but it quickly went to $4 to $5 from there. Still doing really good if you kept it around that price. Crystal Beast got their Advanced Dark version that rely on the field spell, and the Secret Rare version of the field spell. Huge buyouts on that. Return of the Duels, though, had one of the least expensive special editions until the huge sealed buys from the Pokemon boom and people going into every card game and corner. So the Unlims I do expect to fall out a bit, but the first eds will definitely end up pacing themselves far ahead of those Unlimiteds. Arcana Triumph Joker Collector Rare, the Mommy Poker Knight, is way up in price again, up towards $75. This is a themality of Animation Chronicle, which is our Battles of Legend. Interesting to see if we will get more support than what's already announced, because what's already announced isn't really enough to justify it, and it could be very much like Urgoth the Relentless, where it's not extra support in the same pack, same year. And you can see the Ultra Rare spiking up a good amount here, but still very readily available around that $2 mark, where you can get them cheap, but going back up after being down for a bit. Talking about Spright, we were bringing up what's the Tikaboo for like levels, and the Band Plays On actually has been spiking up for its ultra rare from Prio. Neither player can special summon monsters with the same level as those they control. Actual anti-Spright floodgate here. Neither player can special summon monsters with the same rank as they control. Limit to 1 level 2, 1 rank 2, no more, and getting 2 level 2s together to even make a rank 2 doesn't happen. This card has multiple versions, several commons, but it is the holographic being targeted right now as we head towards the format. And I feel like floodgates that don't even pan out, that usually have some semblance of hype behind them like this, do end up getting their double, triple down buyouts as we get almost there and people are asking how to beat it. It's so powerful in the OCG. Dark Ruler, though, Moore's new common from the Alba Strike structure deck. It really seems like a big penny stonk to me at under $2, and it's taken the Charmer Structure Deck one down with it. And I'm still seeing this in side decks. I believe the French National winner had this in his side deck, and it's seeing a lot of use within the format. Of course, people want to be playing the Secret Rare, and proportionally, that's what would go up even more. It's about having access at all. But I really do like the commons as penny stonks, and could easily see them going back up to $5 over time if this gets slept on for future reprints due to having 2 commons in structure decks already. Some more Bird of Ancestry. This is one that I didn't really know about all that much. It's out of Light of Destruction, and it's a $4 card, so maybe a little more money than you didn't know you had, or something to look through for bulk. Both players tribute summon and win monsters with 1 less tribute than required if this is out. If you tribute summon this card by tributing only wind monsters, return up to 2 cards your opponent controls to their owner's hand. This card is treated as a normal monster while in your hand. Very weird champ effect on the end there, but yeah, returning up to 2 cards your opponent controls with all the quick tribute abilities that Flunder has, and the ability to then also tribute wins with 1 less tribute than required. Interesting card for Flunder indeed. And Zombie Good Stuff is all over the place. I did not know that Zombie Necronize was up to being about a $4 card. A couple copies at 3 before it just shoots up here and then bypasses to 5. So this card is on buyout mode. It reads, if a level 5 or higher zombie monster is on the field, very easy to do, target 1 monster your opponent controls, take control of it until the end phase. So a little change of heart action. During your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, though, you can shuffle one of your banished zombie monsters into the deck, and if you do, set this card. So recurrence, as a lot of the modern zombie cards have the ability to do. Just be aware, this card, a bit more money than you might have thought as well, and also a tech option that you might want access to. But, you know, a resettable change of heart, not bad at all. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation. Try to keep it in a timely manner, giving reasons, thoughts, all that together. and just kind of a funny time in the market with how much is changing or how not changed can also be news and surprise to people. I forget that not everybody's been around enough to see, like, wait, why isn't there a buyout when it was first place? Thanks for watching, everybody.